What is in plein air? In the mid-1800s, Impressionist artists began painting on location, or in plein air, a French term meaning in the open air. Before the 1840s, paint was not sold in portable tubes. Most landscapes were painted in the artist's studios, as they had no way to store or transport their hand-mixed paints. This was extremely important to Impressionists because they focused on trying to capture the light and how it changed throughout the day. Portable paints and in plein air gave them the ability to capture light in real time using quick brushstrokes and therefore allowed them to easily leave their studios to study the light and atmosphere in nature and paint on site with their now transportable tubes of paints. Today, artists seek to capture that same intriguing light and shadow outdoors and gather in plein air events across the country, turning ordinary scenes into extraordinary works of art.
Hi everyone, my name is Noelia and I work for the San Angelo Museum of Fine Arts. Today I will be teaching you about in plein air art and how to make it. Now I know what you're thinking, what in the world is in plein air? Well, the phrase in plein air is actually French and it means to go outside and paint. In plein air artists can sometimes paint outside for hours. When they do, they are able to watch the light and shadows caused by the sun. For example, when looking at this rock and where the sun is in the sky, we can see what parts of the rock are lit and the parts that are shadowed. Depending on what time it is in the day, light and shadow can look very different. For example, this photo was taken earlier in the morning. In this other picture, we have the same rock, but the photo was taken later in the afternoon. Can you see the differences? Because the sun moved, it changed where the light and shadow would be. Now that we know more about what in plein air is, I'm going to show you how to make your own in plein air painting. Here's what you'll need: a sheet of watercolor paper, a watercolor palette, water in a cup, brushes, and a clipboard. Now that we have everything, we are going to head outside and find a place to paint. Here you can see me looking around for a good place to paint. I took my time and made sure to look at the light and shadows around me. After looking and walking for a while, I decided I wanted to paint this view of the Concho River. I liked it because you also get a good view of the trees and rocks around the water. Now that I've found a spot, I can now start on my painting. Before putting down paint, you first need to sketch what you see. I start by drawing a line in the middle of the paper. This will separate my trees and rocks from the water. This is also called the horizon line. Now that I have a simple sketch, I will then pick up my brush and start painting. I use both green and blue to make the color for the river. I use the white and brown in my palette for the rocks. I then use the brown to make the trunks of the trees. Lastly, I use different shades of green to make the leaves of the tree. I also make sure to add the sun in my landscape and the light and shadows it creates. You can always take your painting inside and add more details. Once you're done, you can go ahead and sign your work. And there you go, you just became an in plein air artist. Congratulations! Now go on and share your painting and in plein air knowledge with your friends and family.